RVBN, the Rich Video Blog Network, home to weekly NFL predictions, great personality profiles, great professional wrestling video blogs, great sports video blogs, great MBTA video blogs, great top 10 list of everything and anything video blog, and a whole lot more collection. My work goes back to June of 2014 on various social media websites. RVBN, the only video blog on the internet that matters. Time now is 6:14 in the evening in Billerica, Massachusetts. About 78 degrees out right now. Low humidity. The birds are chirping like crazy. The squirrels are getting the acorns. And the rabbits are hopping away. Some news to report on the RVBN Newswire. The LA Angels of Anaheim beat the Boston Red Sox in the rubber game of their match 4-2. Also, Tim Tebow has been promoted to high A ball for the New York Mets. He's only hitting .222, but I think he's making some progress. And former WWE superstar Albert Del Rios broke up with his fiancée, former WWE diva Paige. Does this mean Paige will come back to the WWE? Well, wait and see. And that's about it on the news from the RVBN Newswire. Be back in a flash with my third and final video blog subject of the night, which will be about my take on the Chris Benoit double murder suicide, which happened 10 years ago today. But first, hear this. Tomorrow on RVBN, 3 more video blogs for your entertainment. First video blog will be about the last personality profile of the month. It will be about former Major League Baseball player Davey Lopes. Second video blog of the day will be about North Billerica, Massachusetts. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about the top 10 best dramedies in television history. RVBN, time now 6:16 in the evening. I'm back. My second and final video blog subject of the night is about my take on the Chris Benoit murder-suicide, which happened 10 years ago today. On June 25th, 2007, outside of Atlanta in a suburban mansion, WWE superstar Chris Benoit was found murdered inside his house, along with his wife, Nancy, aka Woman, and their 7-year-old son, Daniel. And it was one of the biggest unsolved mysteries ever in any crime, and a lot of the information was really swept under the rug. The media died off this case when it cooled off, and there's a lot of takes on this. The background of this story: Chris Benoit was a 20-year professional wrestler. He was on the WWE. He was WWE World Champion in 2004. And he was in the ECW brand. And he was ECW World Champion at this point. And he was scheduled for a match against CM Punk on the pay-per-view Night of the Champions on June 24th. But he did not arrive. Nancy Benoit was Woman. She came into the wrestling world in 1984 as a valet for Kevin Sullivan and his Army of Darkness. They will kind of worship the devil. Nancy was briefly married before getting into professional wrestling, and pictures of her in some magazines, solid by like Championship Wrestling from Florida, Booker, Kevin Sullivan, and he wanted Nancy to be his valet. Eventually, Nancy and Kevin got married, and eventually Kevin went to WCW, and Nancy went with him as well as Woman, as a valet, and eventually Woman went to ECW and managed the Sandman. Eventually Woman went back to WCW as the valet of the Four Horsemen. Then she got attached to Chris Benoit. In the storyline, Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan was feuding with Woman, cheating on Kevin Sullivan, and they having an affair together in the storyline, but in real life it happened. Nancy and Kevin were soon divorced, and in 2000, Nancy and Chris were married, and they had a kid together named Daniel. Daniel was 7 years old, and there were a lot of rumors that he was suffering from a condition called Fragile X, which is kind of a form of autism. There was rumors he had it, rumors he didn't have it. Chris Jericho, on his podcast a few years ago, said that Daniel did not have Fragile X, and Chris Benoit reached the top of the WWE in 2004. He and his best friend Eddie Guerrero also reached the top as well. Both were very small men, and the WWE pushed wrestlers who were big and muscular. So Benoit and Guerrero had to use steroids. They used a lot of them, plus prescription drugs. Plus Eddie had a drinking problem as well, and Chris didn't drink as much. And when Eddie Guerrero passed away of a sudden heart attack in a hotel in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in November of 2005, Chris Benoit was so sad about that. He was also depressed. Also, Chris Benoit lost another good friend, Johnny Grunge, of Public Enemy in 2006, of a heart attack. And at home, Chris Benoit and Nancy were having some domestic problems. There was a restraining order in 2003 about some violence between Chris and Nancy. They were briefly divorced. Nancy briefly filed for divorce for Chris, but they reconciled, and at the end of WrestleMania 20, Chris Benoit and Nancy and Daniel were celebrating in the ring. And on June 22nd, 2007, at their suburban Atlanta home, or early Saturday morning on June 23rd, 2007, Chris Benoit murdered Nancy by strangling her, and then he knocked her down, her dead body, and put Bibles right next to them. I don't know why. Later on that day, or tomorrow, or like June 24th, 2007, Chris suffocated his 7-year-old son Daniel and putting Bibles on him. That's what I heard from the police report, but I don't know if that's true or not. And on either June 24th or June 25th, 2007, Chris Benoit committed suicide at the age of 40 years old due to he was afraid that if he got caught, he would be thrown in jail for the rest of his life. And there's been a lot of stuff about what happened. There's been reports that Chris Benoit had undiagnosed concussion issues. He also was suffering from serious depression because he lost two of his best friends, and others he was in roid rage. And before he killed himself, Chris sent text messages to Chavo Guerrero Jr. and WWE referee Scott Armstrong with some eerie messages. Some of them were his physical address in suburban Atlanta. The WWE canceled Monday Night Raw on June 25th, 2007, and they had a 3-hour tribute. Vince McMahon was in the ring, and it was supposed to be the end of Mr. McMahon's character because Mr. McMahon's character was killed off in a limousine explosion. But they had to rewrite that storyline and kill it off because Chris Benoit passed away. And they showed the 3-hour tribute to him, the DVD of Chris Benoit, Hard Knocks, that came out in 2004. But when they were showing the Monday Night Raw on USA, these are when the report said Chris Benoit did the double murder-suicide, and the WWE had to take action. The next night, the WWE removed all likenesses and images of Chris Benoit off their website and off their television programs, and they just, erased him from history. He's not mentioned in too much stuff, the WWE, because they wanted him to erase from history. A lot of people in the media said that the WWE knew about Chris Benoit's murder-suicide a couple of days earlier, but there's no evidence that happened. Some writers have said that they knew about this and they wanted the media to keep quiet about it until everything played out. There was also some theories that professional wrestler Kevin Sullivan snuck into their mansion, suburban Atlanta, killing woman and Daniel, and he framed Chris up for murdering them and killing him as well. But that was just a theory, and it's not true, in my humble opinion. Also, there was other rumors that Chris Benoit had a brain of an 80-year-old who was suffering from Alzheimer's, and he was in road rage. Another rumor says he was having an affair with a WWE diva, and that's why he caused the murders. But that was not to be true, and we'll never find out that whatever happened, the story, because all the parties are dead. And this was probably one of the most saddest days in professional wrestling history, but the WWE did not do anything about it to clean up the act of the wellness policy at all. So this is a very sad story, plus it's something that could have been swept under the rug by the WWE, but I don't know if they did or not. And that's about it on that. I'll be back tomorrow. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google Plus for more video blogs for you. Keep calm, everybody. I'm Julie Bennett Guy. Molly Rosemont, WCZOX, and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart's also stunning. She's the best. Amy Sweezy's awesome. Awesome Amy. Linda Church of WPIX Channel 11 New York. Such a rocking Cougars get best legs in New York City. Bar none. Barbara gives of ABC 11 Sweet Southern Accent. Best legs in Raleigh, North Carolina. Ron Clay of WHCH Channel 7 Boston is awesome. Best legs in Boston. Ayuli of WABI Channel 5 in Bangor, Maine. Rocks its best legs in Northern New England. And Haley LaPointe's a cute leggy brunette, and she's got best legs in Manchester, New Hampshire. Goodbye, everybody. See you tomorrow.